So I go to Facebook. And I search Scott. Is it on Scott? Is it on yours?
It's already on. There, it didn't see it. Already on the screen.
Yeah, but I'm trying to get on.
Well, you have to find the event. So when you do a Facebook Live for the first time, you kind of screw things up and don't know what you're really talking about and what's going on out there. But we'll figure it out. So we were sitting around the office last week during our team meeting, and we just realized that the questions that we talk about here internally, questions that our clients have, either because they're buying a home right now or they're selling a home, they're thinking about if now's a good time, thinking about interest rates, home improvement. Like, we get these same kind of questions that come up time and time again, that why don't we just hop online on Tuesdays and just have kind of a conversation about what are the most frequently asked questions that are going on out there. And then if you guys are tuning in live and you have some specific questions that you want answered, Elizabeth's in the background. She's behind the camera.
Hi, Elizabeth.
That's where she does her best work. And she's kind of monitoring the chat. So if anyone does come in that wants to ask anything, we'll kind of be keeping our eye on that too. But we're just going to kind of kick it off today. So clearly, I'm Scott and that's Jen. If Mike can get here fast enough, he'll join us in a second too to kind of chime in on his thoughts. But the conversation that we were having this morning at the team meeting had to do with the impact of interest rates. And so oftentimes when we're having conversations about buying, it's the question is really about what can I afford, what does my payment look like? And we're in an environment right now where money is historically inexpensive to borrow, and yet over the last month or the last 2 weeks really, prices have gone up, or rates have gone up pretty dramatically. And so what does that impact really look like? Most people will make a decision about the place that they want to live in based on how much it's going to cost them on a monthly basis to be there. So someone's saying, look, we need one more bedroom. We just had a baby. We need one more bedroom. If we were going to make a move, how much would it cost me to go from where I am today to where I want to go to? And is that within our household budget to do it? We want to downsize. Our kids just went away to college, and we have too much space in the home now. We want to save some additional money for our retirement or whatever else. If we move from where we are now to someplace else, what would our monthly payment be reduced to so that we're saving money on a monthly basis? But Elizabeth said something today that I hadn't never really thought about, and that is the impact of interest rates on the seller. Because we think about the affordability for the buyer and the payment for the buyer, but what's the impact of the interest rate on the seller? And what Elizabeth said was that basically, if interest rates go up, then, or because interest rates have gone up for that matter, there may be less buyers out there that want to buy a home. And if buyer demand goes down, then that impacts where the value is or where the market value goes on that particular house. So where a rising interest rate is going to have an impact on a buyer's affordability on what they can qualify for, the reality is it has that same impact on a seller as well, because if all of a sudden buyers are saying, look, I can no longer afford that payment, or that payment's more than what I'm willing to pay on a monthly basis, then we're going to start to see a cap on where prices go.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we're eating our salads with beach hut today.
Okay, I'm just chiming in because you literally have not stopped talking since we got on this Facebook Live. But
I love you, wife.
Right. We're such dorks that we literally ordered the exact same salad.
I got mixed greens. You got romaine.
Okay, well, we're super different then. I also got no onions. But yeah, Beach Hut, if you guys have not had the salad, this is the super salad, which is quinoa and feta and avocado. It's delicious. So that's my plug. Now you may start talking.
Well, now I'm going to take a bite.
Oh, Scott, tell me about interest rates.
I got some of the salad right
so
there.
Good.
Can I have at least one piece of avocado?
You may have one piece. So here's really how the Austrians reacted in public, or are in public.
But okay, but, you know, we all do different things within the organization, but you're out there talking, I mean, you get the same questions that I get.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with the market? Is now a good time to buy? Is now a good time to sell?
Well, and I think people are wanting to know if there's gonna be a crash. Like, everyone's seeing this real estate frenzy, and it's, you know, I'm gonna put my house on here and I'm gonna get, you know, 10 offers, and it's almost like if they don't get 10 offers, they're offended now. So we're kind of fighting with this reality, like realistic or non-realistic situation. And so everyone says, is it gonna crash? Is it gonna crash? And it's like, well, it's going to adjust, but crash is not the right word. Like, banks are not overextending themselves and doing bad loans, and none of that's happening. It's just more than anything inventory. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, I love tracking market stats and kind of thinking about where things may go in the future. But I'll say that, and this is speaking for myself, and I'll speak for kind of all real estate agents, you're doing yourself or your clients a disservice if you're trying to be a fortune teller.
Yeah, agreed.
Because as we go back to the Great Recession, I mean, yeah, there was some writing on the wall that there was gonna be an adjustment in prices, but no one knew it was gonna be like what that was.
Right.
And in hindsight, everyone could say, oh, well, we knew that was gonna happen because of interest-only loans and pick-and-pay loans, and, you know, if you had a pulse, you would qualify for a loan. So in hindsight, that's easy, but in real time, that's not what was really going on. And so you think about today, could there be some other major economic crisis that
100%.
derails things?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But ultimately, you have to live someplace.
Agreed. And for those of you that are watching that live here in the Sacramento area, like, this really is kind of the next big area. It's like a migration from the Bay, because the Bay still is so crazy expensive. They're still seeing explosion in growth and value, but they're able to work remote. So we are seeing a huge influx of people come here because it is still affordable in relation to the Bay. And I don't really know that that's gonna stop, because there is now an ability to work from home, and I don't see that really going away. I think it'll always be an option. So as that continues, people don't have to travel into the Bay Area to go to work, and they can live wherever. Why would you not be in Sacramento, El Dorado Hills, Placer? Like, it's beautiful here.
Well, it was kind of the choice that we made.
Totally.
You know, when we moved to El Dorado Hills, it was like, okay, where can we go where there is greater topography?
Yeah.
Where there actually are hills, it's not just flatlands.
Yeah.
Where are the schools solid?
Yeah. The schools are really, really, really solid here.
Right?
Still, even in distance learning, but.
Yeah, well, yeah. And right, you know, whether it's Folsom Lake or Tahoe or trails or biking or hiking, like, we were drawn to this area originally for the same reason why a lot of people are migrating here now. It's never really stopped.
Yeah.
And to your point, as far as the work from home type thing, is that that's a trend that it may swing back in some direction, and yet it's always gonna be an option now for some amount of people to work remotely, or to only have to go into the office once a week, twice a month.
Well, and I think a lot of people never even thought that this area was an option, because if they're going to work every day, they're not coming here to look at homes, you know, but now that they've been here, more people have been here and seen it and experienced it, and they're like, oh my gosh, I could absolutely raise my kids here. I mean, our kids are 17 and 18 now, one out of the house, one that's a junior, and this has been such an amazing place to raise kids. Like, it's safe, it's like great athletics, great school system, amazing friendships. Like, it's been awesome.
Yeah, and just like we were transplants when we came here, most people that live here, it seems like they're transplants.
For sure.
Yeah, they came, I mean, we have a few friends, like, just around town that are from El Dorado Hills or went to Oak Ridge High School when they were, you know, teenagers. But for the most part, everyone that lives here is from somewhere else.
Yep.
But let me go back to something I was thinking about earlier, is that, just kind of thinking about values, is that, again, not in the mindset of being a forecaster or a fortune teller, but just simple economics is supply and demand, is that we're sitting at a place here locally, and this is not just El Dorado Hills, this is our whole region, Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado counties, kind of throughout, where there's just such a lack of inventory that there's just not enough homes on the market for the number of buyers that are out there making offers right now. And even
Like
though
not even close.
Not even close, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our inventory levels are somewhere at 50 to 60% less than where we were at this time last year. And this time last year, we were at historically low levels.
Wow.
So as few choices, or as few houses that were on the market a year ago, there's about half of those are on the market today. And the good ones are getting gobbled up quickly and whatnot. But, sorry, you got me off track. Oh, sorry, thinking about pricing is that, so clients will say like, okay, well, it's now a good time to buy, and what they're saying is, our price is gonna be less expensive in the future.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Because if someone asks me the question, hey Scott, is now a good time to sell? I'm not answering that question, I'm asking them back a question.
Why, what's
Let
the
me
reason
find out more
for
about your
selling? Yeah.
situation. Why would you be thinking about selling now? If you did sell now, what would be your next stop?
Mhm.
Because it's not a one-size-fits-all answer to say, is now a good time to sell? And the same is true on the buy side.
Yeah.
Scott, is now a good time to buy? Well, let me find out more about your situation.
Right.
Why are you moving here? What's most important to you in this next home? How long do you see yourself being in this house? And then we kind of go down that path to find out if now is the best time to buy or to sell as a result of whatever is most important to that client.
Yeah.
But-
It's always good, like, it's always the right time to buy or sell, it just depends who you are.
It's always the right time to buy the right piece of real estate.
Like, I want to buy a piece of real estate on the beach somewhere. You do not feel like this is the right time. I, however, do feel that this is the right time. Especially if that right time is, or that right place is Costa Rica.
But when you said you wanted to buy a place on the beach, you didn't say that I was invited.
Elizabeth, you're invited. You may come to the beach. And any of my friends out there, you may also come. Sorry, I got you off track again.
No, that's fine. But here's the thing, you're going to pay to live somewhere.
Totally.
At the end of the day,
Yep.
you're gonna pay to live someplace, you're either making a mortgage payment or you're making a rent payment. I guess, in theory, you're staying with a friend or living with a family member or something like that. But if you're going to pay to live someplace, the real question is, where do you wanna pay?
Right.
Whatever your budget is, I have $2,000 a month I can spend on a payment, $3,000 a month, whatever the number is, you're gonna pay. So where would
Where do
you
you wanna be?
choose, where do you choose that you wanna live? Right? It's like, okay, we want more space, but we're trying to time the market. We're waiting for the prices to come down, but what if they don't?
What if they don't? That's and for like those of you listening, that is a real valid question and concern. I won't say it's a concern, but I think that it's kind of reality. And like we were saying earlier, I think that it will balance a little bit, like it may go down a little, but that whole drop off, that cliff, I just don't see coming.
Well, if you go to people that are smarter than me, to the forecasters for this year, for the economists for this year, for our region, they all say that prices are gonna continue to climb throughout 2021.
Okay?
So even if prices are gonna correct, and by the way, they need to, at some point, they
Right.
need to correct.
They
like,
have
it's-
to, yeah.
It's only healthy for them to correct. There's still gonna be a certain amount of gain in percentage or value-wise in 2021.
Mhm.
So you're trying to time it because you think prices are gonna go down. Well, if they're still going up now, then when the market corrects, they have to then go back down past a point that they're currently at today, just for you to be back even on a value perspective.
Mhm.
Then from an affordability level, if we think about interest rates and where inflation may be going, and even like the government needing funding to pay for some of this $1.9 trillion act, like at a point, money is going to be more expensive to borrow. So even if prices come back down, but in the meantime, interest rates have gone up,
Right.
the money that you think that you're saving in value, you may be giving back though as it relates to your monthly payment on your mortgage.
Yep. So it's all relative.
Right, so it's all relative. So where do you want to live? At the end of the day, like, okay, you're gonna pay your monthly amount, your 2,000, your 3,000, whatever your monthly amount is, you're gonna pay that to live somewhere. Would you rather that be in the house of your dreams or the house that you want to be in, or do you want to continue to settle in the space that you're in?
Yeah. Very
Right.
good point.
If you're really dying for that extra bedroom, the kids really want a pool by summertime. It
Or
doesn't-
or a yard or anything, or they want a view, or, I mean, there's so many different things that people are, what if I only had that? That's a whole other conversation.
Right.
Is anyone ever truly happy with what they have? But
I am. I'm happy with what I have.
such a good guy.
But you're gonna, but if you can, if the house payment makes sense with the amenities of which you would choose,
Right.
then now's the right time to
Then
buy.
now's the right time to buy.
Because it
Agreed.
doesn't, at that level, it doesn't matter what the house is worth a year from now. It doesn't matter what the house is worth 2 years from now. The only time that the house matters again, what the value is when it comes time for you to sell to go on to the next thing. And it feels great, as a homeowner right now, it feels great to see prices going up and to have this extra equity. That's a great feeling, but the only two times that the value of your house makes a difference, really, is the day you buy it and the day you sell it.
The day you sell it.
Outside of that, you're just riding the wave, up or down.
Agreed. So, the answer to all of you out there is if you really are on the fence and you're like, do I wanna buy, do I wanna sell? Call us and let's have a conversation about it, because we may, open up your eyes to something you didn't think about. And it may make you say, you know what, I'm happy where I am and I wanna stay, and that's great. Like, Scott and I are not here to, push our friends and family into selling homes and buying homes. Like, we love our community, we love everyone here, but we also want people to realize and reach the dream, or be able to get the house of their dreams if that truly is the next step, so.
Right. So is now the right time to buy or sell?
Right.
The answer to that is call us and we'll have that conversation.
Yes.
Because the answer for me is different than the answer for Elizabeth, is different than the answer for Mike. So
Mhm.
whatever your situation happens to be, we can have a conversation, help guide you down the path that would help you best answer that for you and the decision makers in your family.
Yep.
So here's gonna be the awkward part where I walk up to the camera and I have to stand in front of it in order to turn off the recording, because I think I've said enough for today.
Yeah, so, please
Oh,
make a
actually, sit
comment
back.
if,
Tell me more.
if you guys like these, if there's something that you would like us to discuss, then type it in the chat and we can do this next time. So we're gonna start doing these on a more consistent basis, mostly because I just like to eat and I wanna have lunch.
Yeah, so Tuesdays
Yeah.
at noon, we'll be popping in to do these. If you have some questions in advance that you want us to discuss, reach out to us throughout the week,
Yep.
or tune in live. This isn't meant just to be a conversation. I mean, every week will be a little bit different. We
Yeah.
threw a couple other questions on the board today that we didn't get to, but it could just be a question about home improvement, right? I'm gonna do some work to my house, who could I use, how do I do that? Could be a question about insurance or refinancing or anything. I mean, anything related to your home ownership, to what your first steps are, anything like that you guys wanna discuss, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We're happy to put that out there for next time.
And if you wanna see us eat something, and no, I'm not eating 12 tacos again, it's not happening.
Yeah.
That was a one-time deal. But I will eat. I'm up for suggestions, put it that way.
And if you wanna buy me lunch,
Yeah, also up for that.
I'll
Alright.
if you want to bring me lunch anytime, that's fine too, and we'll be sure to eat it on camera. So, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks to Beach Hut for lunch. We'll see you next time.
Peace.